Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sounds of Stadia podcast for episode number 157 of your weekly Stadia show, where we round up all of the cloud gaming news for your listening or viewing pleasure right here on youtube.com/Helix Cloud Games, or up there in the digital clouds on your podcast preference of choice. Welcome one, welcome all to what is the longest running Stadia podcast on the planet. You're joining myself, Chris, one of your hosts for the show, alongside the man of many pixels, Mr. Richie. Welcome back.
Can I just say, I'm trying to keep a straight face, because just immediately before you started the intro, you just went, here we go, boys and girls.
Yeah, this is boys and girls. I was thinking I was live, and I was doing it for everyone listening, although I'm pretty sure our demographic's like 99.9% male.
Yeah,
just gonna put it out there.
I wasn't expecting you to say, here we go, boys and girls.
It's probably...
when it's just me.
It's just you. I don't know, this might be someone hid behind that curtain behind you. Or is there? It's not Halloween yet. Dun-dun.
I don't have a curtain.
Blind, curtain, scrolly thing.
Yeah.
Either way, this is your weekly Stadia show where we round up all your Stadia news and your cloud gaming news. We've got a great show lined up for you, viewers and listeners, whether you be boy, girl, male, female, or whatever under the sun. Richie, busy show, great show. In fact, we've got October's Pro Games, nice and early. Maybe a little bit too early, some might say. We've got a ton of retro games hitting our shores from the world of Atari. We've got a brand new handheld device that's finally been unveiled to the world. We'll break down and talk about all that. A new Chromecast, some Splinter Cell rumours, remakes, and a new game en route from the PUBG developers Krafton. Another game set in that universe. Looks quite interesting. Cyberpunk news and a pro game that's been delayed, but we know when it's been delayed until. So we'll break down all of that. But before we do get into the bulk of the show, boys and girls, don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're kept in the loop with all of the great content we do here at Helix Cloud Games. We do a fantastic range of shows, one to fit all needs, some might say. This very show, of course, followed on a Tuesday, if you're watching this on the Monday. Tomorrow, our weekly PlayStation podcast, Talking the PS, goes live with myself, Richie, and our lovely co-host, Rob. Followed on a Friday, traditionally, by CloudQuest. Of course, if you are a Helix Hero, one of the members of the channel, you get that up to 6 days early, alongside Talking the PS a day or two early as well. Stickers, badges, exclusive perks. But we love to basically just shout your praises. You're all heroes out there to us. Anyone who views... I've noticed a lot more people commenting and liking and stuff as well. So that kind of algorithm thing we always ask for. Everyone who's just... even if you just type a jumble of letters in there, as long as you're not a spam bot... we appreciate you. Actually, you know what? Shout out to the spam bots. They're usually the first people to comment every single week. Whether it's porn that they're trying to sell or a link to a dodgy website. Shout out to you, spam bots.
I'm just saying this tutorial really worked well for us when it's a podcast.
Yeah, this tutorial really helped me find the answer I was looking for. You're thinking, it's an hour-long podcast talking about Google Stadia. I don't know how that's helped you necessarily, but you know what? It helps hundreds of you out there who do view in and tune in every week. A big reminder, folks, that this coming Saturday the 1st of October, we are celebrating our 3rd year anniversary. That's right, 3 whole years of bringing you cloud gaming content, and specifically this very podcast. And we always like to celebrate. Every year we raised, last year we raised £1,000 for charity. We're not doing it for charity this year, but we should stress it is taking part on the same day John Scars arranged the Caring for the Cloud from the Clouds initiative. He did the same last year. It's always going to clash every year, ladies and gentlemen. It's always going to clash. Our anniversary is locked in stone. So is the charity date, so no surprise, but we will be taking part and it will form a part of our celebration day. But we do have a schedule now locked in, so for those who are watching, tune in to this very channel this coming Saturday, the 1st of October. We're going to go live with our very first ever live episode of Talking the PS. So if you're not a PlayStation person, feel free to drop in, come and celebrate, but why not check it out? Be there for the inaugural live ever show of Talking the PS. Rob's going to be joining us for that. We are then going to do an Atari showdown featuring some of the games we're actually going to talk about in this very podcast.
People out Discord keep bringing up to me, because I haven't played many of the Atari games, that I need to play them. Because it's got the whole leaderboard high score thing. I figured I'd challenge Chris to it.
He's going to challenge
head to head.
He's going to lose, but he's going to challenge me.
Oh yeah, I'm going to lose. But...
so we're going to do an Atari showdown head to head. That's the first up at 2 p.m. All these times, by the way, are British time, BST. So bear that in mind for your respective time zones. We then got a first look at a game. Might keep that secret for now, though. You'll have to tune in to find out what our first look is. We then are doing the Sounds of Stadia podcast. So next week, episode 158, we talk about our Helix Heroes getting it early. You could get it early by just tuning in to the celebration stream, because it'll be going live on the Saturday. For those who listen on podcast services or who just want it in standalone video form, just like last year, don't panic. We'll take the show down, we'll edit it, we'll chop it, we'll intro, outro it, all that kind of jazz, and it'll be back up on normal feeds on a Monday. So you'll still get your Sounds of Stadia fix, even if you don't want to get lost in the 12 hours of celebration. But we would love you to come by and say hello in the chat. We'll do our little nods to the crowd out there. We're then going to do another first look. Richie's going to do a first look of another game that we've not touched on the channel yet, just to break it apart. And then Richie's going to head over to mine. Rob's going to head over to mine. We might have a special guest or two. You'll have to tune in to find out. We're going to be playing some Killer Queen Black with you, the wonderful community out there. Of course, the wonderful Killer Queen Black. Fantastic arcade game. Then followed up with FIFA 23 at 8 p.m. Of course, FIFA 23 will have only came out the day before, so it's going to be all over the place. We suspect crossplay, right? That was confirmed for FIFA 23, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So we'll be playing some FIFA, so if you're a football, soccer fan out there, challenge us. You'll have me, Richie, Rob, sat here on the sofa, ready to be challenged, so do your best, do your worst. We'll play out a game of football. Then we're going to join our Caring for the Clouds friends. That's our time slot we've got with John and the guys. We'll do a little charity donation piece. We're going to play Stadia Scope with you folks out there. So if you've never played Stadia Scope on the channel, it's essentially guess what you see on screen. We start in on a piece of Stadia artwork, super zoomed in. It might be a little bit pixelated, and then we'll pull out each round and see if you can guess the image before we fully reveal itself to the world. Play along at home. We'd love to see you in the chat playing along. It's a fantastic bunch of fun, and we've done it a couple of times on the channel, so we know you really enjoy it. So tune in. We'll probably have some beer and pizza or something at the time. Then we're going to go into playing Hitman with the three of us, raising some money for charity as well. And then we've got a pre-recorded episode of CloudQuest, which is going to go live. So that gives Richie a chance to scuttle on home. Back, I don't know why I said scuttle.
Yeah, I'm not going to scuttle.
He's going to drive back home. And then we're going to go into Helix Cloud Celebrations After Dark, which is basically where we'll probably be a little bit tipsy and you can play... you can recommend to play whatever games, and we'll just see what takes our fancy. But more importantly,
and we just go as long as we want to.
We do, yeah. We just go. Well, actually, yeah, I have to be up early the next morning, so it might not be as late as it is in previous years. Yeah. But we'll see. It's going to be loads of fun. Can't wait. Again, it's our chance to just celebrate with all you, hundreds and hundreds of you tune into our shows. You listen, you watch, and we just have a chance to kind of put a pin in the 3 years and celebrate like it's a birthday for the channel, because inevitably we have Stadia's birthday not far on the horizon in November as well, November 19th, of course. So 3 years of the good old Stadia, and that's what.
Get my cake this year.
If you remember last year, I got them a birthday bagel.
Yeah.
So
they promised me cake.
They did on Twitter. They did.
We're coming up to year 3 and still yet to have cake.
It's in the oven. It's baking. It's slow 3-year bake. Anyway, Richie, people are here for Stadia news, and we've rambled on about ourselves for nearly 10 minutes now, so let's get into the thick of the show. If you could introduce us to the
super sexy special Stadia story segment, aka
the news. The news will be live next week if you tune in. Well, hey, you could say it along with us at home.
I like to think people do. Let us know in the comments if you do.
I think they do.
I would.
The news. Right. Speaking of, busy show, as I mentioned, busy week. We got our pro game announcements a little bit early this week. So, surprise, surprise, 6 games slated for the month of October. Of course, we'll get on to what might have been a 7th later on the show. But initially, 6 games kicking off the bat. We did get a community blog which broke this down, and reading from the community blog, the leaves are changing. There is a chill in the air. It's unmistakable. The autumn equinox is nearly upon us. With the start of the new season comes a number of additions to the Stadia lineup. Pumpkin Spice Day ain't the only thing arriving this October. A bevy of games piles on the already extensive library of more than 50 titles claimable on Stadia Pro, which you have access to. Be sure to claim these titles at no extra cost when they launch on October 1st. Kicking things off with the one we spoke about last week, Arcade Paradise. So if you remember Arcade Paradise, we broke it down last week's show. Rather than wash rags for a living, turn the family laundromat into the ultimate 90s-fueled retro arcade adventure. Play, profit, and purchase new arcade machines with over 35 to choose from. We broke this down on last week's show, Richard. We said it was probably the more fun of the 2 titles. I think it was Slaycation and this we spoke about.
I think we pretty much both agreed that this will make a great pro game.
And it turns out, within less than 7 days, we were correct. So what we'll probably do is we'll most likely play this as part of the celebration stream as well. Because we should probably also clarify, no live stream this coming week on a Thursday, purely because we have some stuff to prep for and get onto it, really. Yeah. So that's what we're going to go with. Arcade Paradise, great to see it's a pro game. Again, we theorized it might be or it would be anyway. So there we go. We're all tuned in and locked into it. Coming to pro, can't wait for it. That's probably the one of the lists we're about to get into that I'm probably most interested in.
Yeah, I'd say so. Slaycation looks good though.
Yeah, Slaycation does look quite good. It does. Next up, we got Drawful 2, which was an interesting one. Drawful. My real thing with Drawful. So for those who don't know, Drawful is it's the same. It's basically part of the Jackbox collection. So Fibbage, Quiplash. You don't know Jack, like those guys. It says they're presenting Drawful 2. Play with your friends online, a game of terrible drawings and hilariously wrong answers. It's essentially Pictionary with kind of like, let's face it, a naughtier undertone. Because when you play it with mates, it descends into swear words, boobies, penises being drawn, and that kind of stuff usually. But
Drawful is generally great fun, but the big elephant in the room on this is it's part of a game that you're getting.
Yeah, so that's when I read the blog initially and I saw Drawful 2, I thought, like I've heard of that. I've played it many times. It's a great game, but is it standalone?
It is now.
So it's just been pulled out of the Jackbox collection and put onto standalone as a pro game now. Like, again, great that you don't have to have the whole Jackbox collection, but either way,
you kind of want the whole Jackbox collection.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one to. Without going down that rabbit hole, my worry would then be: are pro games over the next 6 months just going to be Drawful 2 is an October pro game, and then Fibbage is a November pro game, and then Quiplash is a December pro game, and that counts as one of your 6 pro games when it's almost like, well, actually, it's more like 1/5 of a game.
It was never a standalone game before this.
Can you get it on PlayStation or anything as standalone?
Not to my knowledge.
Like, I've never seen these games separated from the Jackbox pack.
Yeah, same.
Let's have a quick look. Drawful 2 on PlayStation.
You can get it on Steam.
No, it's on the PSN store for $8.99 as well.
$6.99 on Steam.
Cheaper on Steam, boys and girls.
Yeah,
cheaper on Steam. Either way, it's obviously a thing. But does it merit a pro game title? Maybe, maybe not.
I think the fact that it's already an established thing does soften the blow as well, and it's apparently released in 2016.
Yeah, so it's been around for a while.
So yeah, I was in my initial response is like, what, you're just giving us part of a game, but it has been its own standalone game.
Yeah, this is on the Jackbox folks, of course, who were breaking out
it's
the
fun.
games.
Generally good fun.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to the game. It's just, again, it doesn't feel like a full game because I know it comes part of a collection traditionally.
Yeah.
But either way, definitely worthwhile checking out.
I wonder if all the Jackbox games you can buy individually.
I would have thought so. It's just squeezing that stone for more. Either way, the next game as part of your pro library this month is Slaycation Paradise. Again, another game we spoke about last week alongside the Arcade Paradise. 2 paradises, Richie. We're living in it this week. The sun's out. We've got our cocktails. We've got our feet buried in the soft, warm, toasty sand. And we're back for Slaycation Paradise. So remember, this is a top-down twin-stick shooter, basically set in not a post-apocalyptic world, I guess. It's a bit like Westworld, where your character goes in and you're going on a holiday or a slaycation vacation to essentially kill aliens, zombies. Essentially, you go and live your best Westworld life. It's kind of
like if you're the sort of person you want to go on like an adventure holiday, but what you want to do is just mess shit things up, kill zombies, aliens, and that sort of thing, and just go for this summer. We're just going to go to an island and we're going to go on a rampage. That seems to be the setting.
Yeah, again, looks loads of fun. I know Rock checked it out on his channel the other week on PC. So again, nice to see it come straight into pro because, as we've said before, it seemed like a type of pro title. It's in around about that £15 to £25 mark, which is a sweet spot for pro, and it looks super fun.
$11.99 on Steam.
How much?
$11.99.
All right, yeah, so it fits into that bracket perfectly well. So that one's coming straight into Pro alongside launch. So you've got two paradises. You can choose to do a Slaycation paradise or an arcade paradise, depending on your preferences. Next up on the list, we've got Tangle Tower, which was actually a surprise because we haven't had any ESRB ratings for this game, to my knowledge. I don't think we've ever covered it on the show. I've not seen anything about it. So this one actually crept under the radar a little bit. Tangle Tower, unravel a thrilling mystery. The lead suspect, a shadowy figure looming over the body wielding a knife. The problem, that the suspect is just a painting. Can you uncover the secrets of Tangle Tower? So, something a little bit different. Got an interesting art style to it. Is it a point-and-click adventure?
It's a point-and-click adventure.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Because from the trailer, it looks like a point-and-click adventure. What does this one do for you, Richie? Tangle Tower. Obviously, it's crept under the radar. I like the premise. I like the thought of it being a murder, but a painting... I guess a painting can murder you. We've all seen Ghostbusters 2. It's Vigo!
I always think with point-and-click adventures, there's probably some really great stories told in them. But it's not really what I want from gaming. So I don't give them that much time or attention. But there again, when we played Dark Side Detective, we had a blast.
Yeah, that's true. It's no
reviews
no disrespect to Monkey. The Return to Monkey Island just came out to rave reviews this past week.
Yeah, I mean, Tangle Tower is reviewed well. It's actually picked up a couple of awards.
Partly funded by the EU, according to the trailer. Whatever that means. But that's one of your extra programs. And then rounding the list out this very week, we've got Looking for Aliens, which was an odd one. 2 seconds while I just correct the trailer's size on my screen.
Another point-and-click adventure.
Another point-and-click adventure. Delightful. Richie, this one, Looking for Aliens, we covered it. Yeah, see the world through the lens of an alien TV show. Search out hidden objects in 25 vibrant locations, including Area 51, the Dream World, and outer space. Now, where does this one sit, Richie? Not the game, sorry, the month. So we've got Arcade Paradise, Drawful 2, Slaycation Paradise, Tangle Tower, and Looking for Aliens. Where do we go with this list? Because, quite frankly, this is disappointing this month for me. I don't think it's just one of them months where I think I'll have fun with Arcade Paradise. Slaycation Paradise... probably have fun with, but if I was not doing a Stadia podcast, would I even would I even boot up any of these games in my own time? And I don't think I would.
If that's the lens we're putting on it, I don't think I'd play any one of these games if I wasn't hosting Stadia content. Including, as much as I think like the premise of Arcade Paradise and Slaycation Paradise look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of other games I think I would prefer to be playing.
Yeah,
but if these are the sort of games that you're drawn to, I think this could be a good month. So I think overall it's probably middling.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad list. Arcade, like I said, the two Paradise games look fun. Drawful 2 is fun. Yeah. I've played that before.
Yeah.
Tangle Tower, Looking for Aliens they don't do much to merit my investment. And as you said, I've got on the horizon. I'm currently playing. Well, I've just finished The Last of Us. We've said that before. I've actually gone back to play Assassin's Creed Rogue, of all things. Oh, okay. I've never played it before. I'm working my way through that now. So that was one of the few games that passed me by. I think Rogue came out the same time as Unity did. So I think it was one. Yeah. Unity came out on.
Was it PSP?
No, it was PS3. This one, but it was
PS3,
when Ubisoft launched Unity on PS4. And Rogue was the PS3 variant, so you kind of got the first time ever we got two Assassin's Creed games within the same month on different generations rather than do a cross one. And I think if I'm remembering that right, I'm pretty sure that's why. And at the time, I only had money to buy one game, so naturally I bought the one that went on my new console, big shiny bells and whistles, and I totally ignored and forgot about Rogue, even though at the time it reviewed better than Unity, I believe, because Unity had all those bug problems. So Rogue is actually the better of the game. So actually going back to it now, it's interesting to sit and play through a game that's very much in that Assassin's Creed 3 era of both graphics and gameplay and storyline. And I'm having fun. I'm actually genuinely having a good time with it. It's like going back in time and experiencing Assassin's Creed 3, but from an alternate timeline almost. Like I'm playing as a variant of Connor in Assassin's Creed 3 because it's in New York, it's in Albany. You've got your ship. It goes back to the manor house in Assassin's Creed 3. You see Achilles, but it's told on a separate storyline. It's a bit trippy playing it, but I'm having fun with it. And we said there, it's things like that. If I've got a Ubisoft Plus subscription, why would any of these games entertain me this month? And I don't think they do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Was this because you needed something to play before God of War drops?
Requiem,
so you just
Plague Tale Requiem before God of War.
Tale,
but I've still got another month until that comes out, though. So yeah, I've got this kind of window.
So you just need
opportunity.
You just need some time fillers.
Yeah, pretty much. And we've got FIFA coming out next week. Or later this week at the time of the show going live. So I'll be playing some matches in FIFA. I'll be chipping away at Assassin's Creed. But realistically, when all these pro games drop, I probably wouldn't look twice at them if I was just playing in my own time on my own merits. So, and again, that's one of the great things we've said about pro in the past, is it gives you a chance to experience new games that you would have otherwise overlooked. Yeah. But if we're honest with ourselves, there's no AAA or even arguably AA. I'd say these are all indie titles.
Yeah. And
is that worth your subscription? Like, I don't feel it's hard done by. I've had a free pro subscription all year thanks to promotions and sponsors kind of stuff.
I paid this month for the first time for quite a while.
So this cost you what, a tenner?
No, I think is this like $7.99 something, $8.99.
Again, I've had it free for so long, and mine runs out in January. That's when I have to start paying again for pro, and I'm sure I will because we do content based on it. But again, if I was a paying customer for Stadia Pro, I'd feel a bit spurned by this selection this month. Again, not that they're bad, but just for me personally. And you know what? And again, just to put it into comparison, the same goes for PlayStation Plus. There's a lot of times, like I look at the PlayStation Plus claimable games. Like I think this month was Need for Speed Heat. I claimed it. I have no intention of installing it or playing it, and it's like again, it's probably a great game. But that Need for Speed Heat is still a lot better than this selection, in my opinion. That's just one of the PlayStation Plus offerings. Xbox is dropping day one AAA games. I think it was Hellslinger, Metal Hellslinger was the one that was Game Pass day one this month. That shit's all over these games in terms of quality and size and scope and value, and that's just one, not including the other 8 titles you get with Xbox. So, again, there's a conversation to be had.
I'd almost prefer to try and aim for like one big and one little game, so you get one AAA and one indie, rather than going, he's 6 indies.
Yeah, but this goes back to the conversation we've had many, many times on the show. Our audience will know this. Is it because the library's just too thin on the ground? Like, let's face it, all of these games on this list, they're all brand new to Stadia. So we're at a tipping point now where every game that's gone straight into Pro is also brand new to the library. And that tells me the library is exhausted of games that are selectable. There's no publishers out there.
This is why we don't do predictions on Stadia Pro games anymore.
Yeah, because
it's basically impossible.
Yeah, it is impossible. Because like realistically, what quality games are left out there to give us? Cyberpunk would have been a phenomenal one this week with the sudden rise. Like, we'll get to the story, but Cyberpunk's seeing a huge boon at the moment. Imagine if Cyberpunk was a Stadia Pro game for October or November. That'd be huge. That'd be great.
I think it's on offer. On sale.
It's on offer. It's like 22 quid. But imagine it going Pro.
Yeah, that's it. It's currently 22 quid, but imagine if you had, say, Arcade Paradise, Location Paradise, and Cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. We're suddenly talking about the story in a very different light.
Absolutely. And then whenever I know the argument is it's all subjective. I totally get it. Out there, I'm sure there's people who see that selection and go, "That's fantastic! I can't wait to check out these games. It's amazing." But then I always compare it to the competition and my approach to gaming, and I think, well, if I look at say Game Pass next year, Richie, they're going to get Starfield day one, day and date.
Well, I think part of it is the games you get for free as part of your Pro subscription should be intended to drive people into wanting to get that subscription. And I think this fails at us.
I agree.
It doesn't need to be the newest, flashiest game ever, but if we weren't covering this podcast, I don't think I would have even heard of any of these games. Drawful 2 aside.
Yeah.
But there again, like 10 minutes ago, we didn't know had the standalone release.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's always a comparable thing. Everyone has their own kind of take on these because video games are all subjective at the end of the day. But in terms of a monthly selection, a little bit weak for me this month, personally. And I will also say, in terms of value, people got Pro for that lovely 4K 60. Any of these games utilise that? Not at all.
Probably not.
No. I'm sure they scale up
even if they do,
but it's...
they're not. I don't think any of them are the sort of game where you've really seen the benefit.
No, not at all. You know what? Just as we were criticising it, I totally forgot. I've missed off one of the games from the list because in the blog post, it breaks it down funny. Yeah. Sorry, boys and girls. I'm sure people for the last 10 minutes of the show have been going, you've missed one, almost missed one. The Addams Family Mansion of Mayhem is a Pro game for this month as well. So on the blog post, it's got them listed bullet point wise with a little description next to them all. And then on the next line underneath, these new games, along with the Addams Family Mansion of Mayhem, are available at the start of October. Whew, almost missed it there, Richie. But no, we're getting the, I'd say, double A quality Addams Family Mansion of Mayhem, kind of little party puzzle game, platformer. Doesn't deter my argument of the list this month being any much better, but... 6 game titles. Does Addams Family do anything for you, Richie?
No. I think the best thing about Addams Family is literally what you've just did.
What, the theme tune?
Yeah. Yeah, generally, like... It's not exactly a strong IP, is it?
No, it's not. There is a reboot. I think Wednesday, there's a movie coming out just called Wednesday. I don't know what that does with it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Addams Family, but the Addams Family Mansion of Mayhem it's a family game.
Addams Family is one of them. It's an IP, I think, that could make a resurgence.
I wish they'd go more dark horror. Like, give me an 18 M-rated Addams Family with actual beheadings and gore and thing choking someone out. Yeah. Something like that.
Well, you mean like how Liza P is retelling Pinocchio?
Yeah, do it like that. Retell Addams Family.
Dark Souls-esque.
Because it's verging on, it's more campy horror, isn't it, than actual scary horror.
Yeah.
But either way, Addams Family, Mansion of Mayhem, go claim that alongside the other 5 titles we mentioned this month, and fill your boots, boys and girls, for October. It's a plentiful one, I'm sure. Moving on to the next story of the week, alongside a list of Pro games, we also got Atari Madness, Atari Fallout, Atari Explosion, whatever you want to call it, Richie. We knew some of these were coming because of the Recharge collection, the way Atari have been kind of tweeting about it and talking about it. We got some new games surprise drop, kicking things off with Asteroids Recharged. The original space shooter warps to the modern era. Asteroids Recharged has been reimagined for modern gameplay with vibrant visuals, powerful new abilities, and another original soundtrack from award-winning video game composer Megan McDuffie. Asteroids, everyone's played Asteroids at some point, right? You play as a little floaty triangle, floating around space, shooting at, you guessed it, asteroids.
Us especially, because we grew up in the Flash Games Online era when we were in school. So games like, there was so many clones of things like Asteroids out there.
Oh yeah, it was such an easy game to replicate.
Yeah.
You could have put a spaceship in, you could put an alien in, you could put anything and just have it shoot blocks.
I genuinely don't know if I've ever played an actual legitimate Atari-made Asteroids game, or if I just played like 8,000 different clones of it.
It's like, what was Space Invaders had loads. I actually played...
Same thing. Gravatar, Breakout, these like 2 of the other games on the list.
Spoilers.
Same thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was it called? What was the other game for Space Invaders? I had it on a floppy disk. That's how old we're talking. Now, children out there, floppy disk was...
They're not floppy.
They're not floppy. They also... I mean, the actual bit inside is when you take it out. The
little
disk bit. But, God, floppy disk is so long ago. I remember saving like PowerPoint presentations to floppy disks.
That's impressive, actually, because you only got a couple.
Sometimes you had to spread them out across multiple floppy disks. You can still get Windows 10 came on floppy disk because there's some businesses out there that run on such old tech. Oh, there's a picture. If you Google Windows 10 floppy disk, you'll find like an image, and it's literally like 8 boxes of floppy disks just to get Windows to install on. I'm guessing a business's latest piece of tech.
So for clarity, the 3.5 inch floppy disk, which is the one we all knew and love. Yeah. 1.44 megabytes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you think about back to the asteroid days. This is the tech they were dealing with when no wonder an arcade machine was so damn big. just to play one solitary pixel game.
Here's some homework for someone in the chat. I want someone to calculate how many floppy disks you need to get Call of Duty Warzone on.
Oh my word! You'd be able to climb to the moon and back.
Feel free to submit your homework in terms of meters.
Wow.
How many meters of floppy disks?
Unless you're in the States and you use kilometers.
Yeah. How high is the stack?
Yeah, I reckon it's to the moon and back. It's just my brief guesstimate. If you stack them like side by side, not on top of each other, but actually side by side flat, like widthways, I reckn you could get to the moon and back with that distance.
I was thinking just like stack them up like as a tower, but whatever.
Depends how we're climbing into heaven or the moon. But yes, as Richie alluded to, that wasn't the only game we got. We also had Black Widow Recharged was officially confirmed. Now, this one was rated a while ago, so we knew it was coming. The original space shooter warps to the modern era. Not Asteroids Recharged. That's the same blurb as I was reading before. Asteroids. Okay.
Defend your spiderweb from an onslaught of bugs in this frenetic revival of the cult classic twin-stick shooter, while jamming to an infectious original score by Megan McDuffie. Play solo or tag in a friend or for local co-op across 30 unique challenges or the endless arcade mode.
Sounds delightful. And I will.
This is the one I don't think I've played a clone of.
No, that's the one. Yeah, it's the only thing that I look at and think I've definitely not played anything like this before. But yeah, interesting again. I love, again, we've said time and time again, I love the neon visuals they've gone for this whole Recharge collection. Whoever's idea it was at Atari to take these classics and just put a bit of effort into kind of bringing them into the 21st century.
Let's just make the logo pink.
Yeah, just like neon it up with that. Cyberpunk the shit out of this. We also got Breakout Recharged. Breakout Recharged is the grandfather of brick-breaking games, and it's back with some of the toughest challenges yet. Breakout Recharged steps up the excitement with a fresh coat of paint, exciting power-ups, and another original soundtrack from the award-winning video game composer Megan McDuffie. Now everyone's played a brick-breaker game, right? Whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your television remote through your cable provider when they tried to get games onto the service in around the early 2000s. I've definitely played some kind of brick breaker using my Sky remote or my Virgin remote at some point.
Did you ever have like a 9,999 games in one thing, and probably about 2,000 of them were breakouts?
Yeah, it was just a little joystick, and
a couple of them literally there was just didn't work.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely the type of games you wouldn't spend a lot of time with, but you can jump in and spend half an hour, have a bit of fun. And I mean, that's the kind of the nature of an arcade game, right? You'd go in, you'd spend a few dollars, pounds, and you just leave and you'd be like, I had fun.
Anytime one of these Atari games drop, there's always a bit of competitiveness in our Discord going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely, there has to be.
I approve of this.
Yeah. Love a good brick breaker game. And again, boys and girls, tune in. Why do I keep saying boys and girls this week? I must have been doing something at work that was to a variety of people, and I said boys and girls for some reason. I feel like I've said it 80 times in this show for some reason. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Breakout Recharged. Can't wait to play it. And yes, check out the celebration stream this coming Saturday, because we're going to do an Atari showdown where I'm going to challenge Richie. Because I've been saying to him, these games are super fun. And he's still, every week he goes, Chris, I'll play them. I'll check them out. I'm going to look at it this week. And then you don't. You
admittedly,
lie
for like
to
the
my
last,
face
for
every
like the last
week.
month, I've had this idea of doing a head-to-head as part of our celebration stream, so I was like, I'll save it for that.
Not only does he lie to me,
but I wasn't ready to announce it.
Not only does he lie to me, he lies to you, the viewers and listeners out there who tune in for honesty, integrity.
I said I would play them, and I am.
Okay. You'll be playing them when they're rebooted in another 20 years at this rate. The Breakout Recharge collection.
October. 1st of October, I will play some of these games.
Okay, we'll see. We need to make sure which ones we're going to buy, because these ones aren't free, we should point out. But you know what? I'd rather pay $7.99 for a Recharge Classic than some of the pro games we got this week, just to throw some more shade at the pro games. But that wasn't the last one. This is the last one, in fact, of the week. Gravatar Recharged. A lone pilot far from home must navigate to an abstract universe of uncharted planets and space stations guarded by mysterious, hostile aliens. In Gravatar Recharge, you must complete missions in each solar system, navigating a variety of challenging environments, each with varying levels of gravity that test your skills as a pilot. Everyone's played this type of game before. This is the one I picture as a flash game, where you've got that kind of the gravity always pulling you down. You need to use your ship's booster rockets to kind of stay afloat.
You're constantly pressing space. You're just going like that, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Crash,
Dodging
die
through,
immediately. Shit, restart, reboot. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to in terms of a showdown. All of these games have that kind of high score arcade competitive nature. So we're going to play side by side. We're going to get the two cameras up, and we're going to challenge each other for the ultimate Atari title. And you can play along with us, of course, at home and see if you can get in on this and beat our high score and see which one of us can finish on the podium best. But 4 games. Surprised, genuinely surprised, none of these came to Pro, Richie. I thought we were.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought these were just going to be our Pro games for the rest of the year, if I'm honest. Like
I thought it was just going to be like one a month.
And I do think we'll probably get some in November and December. Out of these 4,
Yeah, probably.
Out of these 4, I reckon at least 2 by the end of the year will be a Pro game.
Yeah, probably.
But these are the type of games that I accept in the library as little. Do you call them indie? Because I guess at the time when they first launched, they were AAA games. Like, they were at the height of game development. And now they look.
It's hard to. You can't really call them indie when they're made by Atari, because Atari are not an indie developer. They're like one of the biggest developers. They have one of the longest legacies of all gaming companies ever. Mm-hmm. You can't really this is an indie game. It's like these are. I'd say the smaller titles. I don't think they really fit into like the AA, AAA indie model.
Yeah, they need their own category, really, don't they?
The legacy titles, like remakes of legacy titles.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing them, and I'm looking forward to the showdown and finally forcing Richie to play these games. So tune in, watch along. Right, we did have a CloudQuest episode dedicated to cloud gaming and a dedicated handheld device this past week. And this was going off rumours of the Logitech G Cloud, which was leaked a few weeks ago now. And we've seen it pop up in a few places. Hideo Kojima was seen sporting it at the Tokyo Game Showcase last week. It's live, it's real, it's been announced. Logitech have confirmed it over on their all the social channels. They kind of had like a tech event. I think Logitech are trying to lean into the e-gaming territory scene a little bit more and just video gaming in general. Of course, Logitech have been around for years. I've bought probably tons of their mouses and keyboards and used them at work and stuff throughout my lifetime. Webcams. Everyone had a Logitech webcam at some point in our early teenage years, right?
I've got one right there.
You've got one right there. That was before laptops came with webcams built
Blue,
in.
who make my microphone, are owned by Logitech.
Are they? Oh, so they've been doing a lot around, and now they've decided officially to get into the cloud gaming scene, not with their own storefront, but with the Logitech G Cloud. And now, Richie, we actually have a full breakdown of its specifications, in fact. Starting at, it's US only at the moment. We should point that out. I think. I've not seen it in Canada or anywhere, but here in the UK, it's not available on Logitech's website yet. But they have clarified it's coming soon. I did see on social media it's confirmed it's coming soon.
I wonder if the leaks have just pushed this up in terms of the timeline for them a bit.
Potentially. But either way, it's real. It's priced at $349 originally, but the website does have the price slashed already in a sale to $299, which is always questionable when a product hasn't even launched yet.
It's a pre-order price. I think for the sake of this discussion, we talk at the MSRP, not the pre-order price.
I agree with that. So $349.99. Looking at, actually, I'll share the screen so the boys and girls out there can see it as well. So there's the website. You can see on there they've got the first layout, a couple of different various images, renders of the design. It does look very Nintendo Switch, which we kind of said all along. But then again,
it's a good form. It's a
perfect format. Thing. Offset sticks, of course, all in white. I don't know if there's going to be any colour variants later down the line. It does actually say on screen, I can see here, offer is valid till October the 17th while supplies last. This offer is available in US and Canada only, so it looks like it is available in Canada. A cloud requires a cloud subscription service sold separately to work as intended, such as Nvidia GeForce Now or Xbox Game Pass. So there we are. We're straight in, Richie, on the main website. This will be sponsored or kind of partnered with Nvidia GeForce Now and Xbox Game Pass, aka Xbox Cloud Gaming.
The thing is, we do know this is capable of using Google Play, so I suspect this is probably running off Android, some form of Android.
Yeah, it is. We'll get into the bulk of that.
Theoretically means Stadia should be fine.
Oh, 100%. It should have Chrome. like an actual Chrome browser. I would
Yeah,
have thought as part
you
of
might
the
just be able to straight up
interface.
play through a Chrome browser,
Yeah.
if not have a Stadia app natively.
It runs on Android 11, if I recall. Yeah, Android 11 with Google Mobile Service, so it runs on Android 11. Looking at the specifications a little bit now, we know the details. Length, height, weight, I won't go into that. Tech specs, it has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G processor, an octa-core CPU, up to 2.3 gigahertz of processing power, a resolution of 1920 by 1080, display resolution. What else has it got? Blah, blah, blah. Display is 7-inch diagonal screen, so it's a 7-inch display.
IPS display, unfortunately, not an OLED. Yeah. And only 60 hertz. 60 hertz is probably the minimum you can get away with a device like this.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, a lot of phones are now going for over 120 or higher.
Yeah.
To get that really smooth interaction.
Yeah, mobile phones are looking for pretty much 120 now. Audio-wise, stereo speakers. It does have an audio jack, which is great when you look at mobiles now. That's scrapping it frustratingly. Bluetooth, digital USB-C support as well. Typical control scheme layout. Dual-band Wi-Fi, which is 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. So that's pretty much any modern router you can get nowadays. Yeah, the two bandwidths. Battery life, rechargeable. 2 cells in parallel. Doesn't tell you what the actual milliamp battery charge is, so I wouldn't know based on that one. Wattage in hours, 23.1. Don't know what that means. Ideally in like milliamp, which is what you tend to see on a mobile phone, where it says like 4,000 milliamp battery. 1 year, blah blah blah. Android 11. In the box, you get a Logitech G Cloud Gaming Handheld, a power adapter, a USB cable, USB-A to USB-C, and a user document. All in all. So, Richie, now we know what it officially is. We've seen it. Breaking it down. First things first, disappointed that there's no mention of Stadia on it, considering it runs on Android 11. It's a shame that there was no kind of partnership that could be hashed out to get the Stadia logo front and centre alongside GeForce Now and Xbox. But evidently, those two other companies just seem a lot better at marketing their own product. Like, as though it
feels
exists.
like this is one of them. It feels like could have been an easy get to just be listed alongside them.
You're running an Android, so
yeah,
as part of your contract to use Android,
they have licensed a Google product already.
Absolutely, and the biggest thing that gets me is I follow a lot of social media personalities and influencers, and they got hands on with this thing over the weekend, and I saw multiple people tweet out about it, talk about it. And every example they were giving of, like, the device runs great, it plays great. I tested Xbox out. I tested God of War, Spider-Man out through GeForce Now or whatever, or PC. I can't remember what variant they were using. But they were talking about GeForce Now and xCloud, not Stadia. Or Luna, to be fair. But it just seems like it would have been a great partnership to get in there. Lamar Wilson, who was like staffed by Stadia to do the good stuff event 2 years ago, was tweeting out about how much he enjoyed playing the Logitech G Cloud.
We straight up did an episode of CloudQuest literally last week where we advocated for a device like this running basically Android. I think my pitch was it should be running Android, access to the Play Store, Stadia should be part of it, other cloud gaming things should be part of it. This kind of is what I had in mind. There is a few flaws. I think there's one fatal flaw in my opinion.
Fatality. Can I guess what it is?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it the price?
No. The price isn't good.
The price is shit.
The price is way too close to the Steam Deck compared to when you go specs by specs either side. Like, I don't know why you go for this over Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Generally, the Steam Deck can do everything this can do and more, and it's not that much fairer in price. The fatal flaw for a cloud, because they're pitching this as a cloud gaming device, no mobile data.
Yeah, it's Wi-Fi only, isn't it?
He's a device that is designed to be portable for cloud gaming, but you can only use if you've got a good Wi-Fi signal. And you do not get good Wi-Fi signal outside your own house in most places. Even in most places where you have Wi-Fi signal, it's entry level at best.
Yeah, well, because
and you're probably sharing for lots of different clients.
Well, that's it. Public
mobile,
Wi-Fi's, yeah.
Mobile data on this would make it probably worth the price.
Yeah, but then we had that discussion in CloudQuest
about
like you need a carrier support, therefore a contract of some kind potentially, and it bumps the cost. But either way, I think that's one downside, that you are limited. And I've seen that in a couple of the influencers who got early hands on saying like it's great, but when I take it out of the house, it's immediately limited. And these influencers, for the most part, usually have a Steam Deck or a Switch as well, and then it falls back on, well, I'll just take that with me. And then to follow up from that, the price, $300, or as you said, $349, $350, just to round it up. To put that into perspective, like other tech at the time, Xbox Series S in America is $299 right now. So for £50 less, you could get an Xbox console and get Game Pass. Anyway, and again, I know it's not oranges to oranges because you couldn't take the Series S with you anywhere. But in terms of like value for money, unless you're specifically after a handheld device, let's face it, that would come over to the UK, I reckon. UK conversion rate, it'd be £300 UK, 329 maybe, give or take. Conversion rates, we always get shafted with conversion rates anyway.
Yeah, it'd be probably 350.
Probably 350. Anywhere between 300 and 350. It's similar to our argument with the Razer Kishi. Like, why is a Razer Kishi £100? It's literally a bit of plastic with buttons that plugs into my phone. This obviously has a lot more going for it, but £350, I could get a PS5 for 120 more, or I could get a Steam Deck for 50 more. So just get the Steam Deck that does all the things this does, but you can play things locally on it as well.
Yeah, and it's not even play a few small titles locally. It's playing actually really good games locally.
Yeah.
For the Steam Deck, it's like it just feels like they've completely missed the mark on this. They've went for a cloud gaming handheld, but that isn't that useful as a handheld because it's Wi-Fi only. Mm-hmm. And then the price is too close to the Steam Deck. So it's like, if you're already in for $350...
What's another 50?
What's another 50? Yeah, save up for another 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I honestly think if you can't, your better choice is probably to go for a Kishi.
Yeah.
The Gen 2 Kishi is looking pretty good, and you'll save yourself $200.
That's it. I mean, you can get
You save yourself $250.
Yeah.
And you just use your phone while you save up.
Absolutely. And you could get a decent Android tablet for £100 nowadays as well. Yeah. Maybe like a little 7-inch Android tablet, and then use your old controller. And this is the argument we've always had with cloud gaming, is it's supposed to reduce the barrier to entry. A $350 or pound device, that is not a low barrier to entry. Like, if you go to mum and dad and say, for Christmas this year, I'd love a Logitech G Cloud, and they go, how much is it, Timmy? £350, and it doesn't come with any games because you still need to then subscribe to something.
It feels like that price was just made up to undercut the Steam Deck rather than being an actual reflection of the capability of the device.
I agree.
Again, I don't think this is a bad device.
No, it looks like
this
a good
is kind
device.
of pretty much what we were pitching in CloudQuest. Mm-hmm. But it's got them two problems that I do think are kind of fatal, unfortunately.
Price and connectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to make it... but there again, I also have the same criticism of the Steam Deck in terms of its connectivity. Because it's a portable device. For me, for a portable device that relies on the internet, I want this to be able to connect to the internet wherever I am.
No.
Even if I have to pay £5 a month.
No, there is a solution.
For that connectivity.
There is a solution to all these problems. And I've seen, again, some of the influencers out there saying the only problem is you take it out of the house and you're limited. You can hotspot from your phone. That is a thing that will get you connected.
Yeah, but then you start using your data on your phone and using your phone battery, which is starting to...
Using your data doesn't... Like, a hotspot doesn't do that much detrimental impact to your battery. But it does... I mean, it does impact it, though.
I currently have 2 phone contracts, so I could literally just... If this was capable of like...
SIM card.
4G, I could just put my eSIM onto the device. Good to go. I'm already paying for data.
No, good luck getting your eSIM in there. Because it's not allowed.
Download it.
Either way, I think we'll wait to see if it comes to the UK, hopefully with a better price. But what I do hope is that this just kind of spurs a new race to cloud gaming devices. If Logitech are in on it, that means no doubt all the other people, Razer, are probably in it. Let's face it, the Razer Kishi is great, but I've got to imagine Razer are planning some kind of device like this. What other big companies could you see doing this, Richie? Maybe Google. Maybe Amazon. Amazon have Fire Sticks, and they have their TV hubs, and they have that. They've got Luna. Give me a Luna.
I'm genuinely surprised Logitech did.
Yeah, same.
I know Logitech more as the gaming peripherals guys, because the G series is all their gaming peripherals.
Does G stand for gaming?
Probably, without checking.
Probably does, yeah.
But some of their like gaming, like mice and keyboards, is like some of the best on the market. Like the Logitech camera I'm using is the default streamer webcam. They do a lot of good stuff, but I've never really thought of them as, we're going to produce a fully gaming device.
Well,
but it just goes to show you there's gaps in the market. Like, Valve done it, so let other people get in it.
And this is what I keep saying on Talking the PS, why PlayStation don't make a successor to the Vita when Switch are making hand over fist money on portables, and it just feels like it's a market that people are always going to want stuff to play in their hands. And yeah, like again, there's loads of things. Let us know in the comments below what you would have liked to seen from this. But more importantly, head over to CloudQuest and check out our half an hour long discussion about what a Google made product, a made by Google product, on par with this could look like. Because we threw loads of great ideas around.
It's that with Wi-Fi. And a bit cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, we went into it. Yeah, I mean, I actually made a great visual for it, the Pixel Go that we theorized. Like, I had a lot of fun making that image. Obviously, it's the chassis of a PlayStation Vita, but I tweaked it a little bit, putting some new buttons and such, and logos and a splash of colour. But let us know in the comments below what you think. In the meantime, though, pivoting over to actual hardware made by Google, we got an announcement this week that there's a new Chromecast on the block, the Google Chromecast with Google TV in brackets HD or 4K. And I said to you before we went live on this week's live stream, Richie, I had to give my head a little bit of a shake at first, because when all the news was popping off about this Chromecast, I was really confused, because I looked on the website and I was looking through all the news articles and the stuff on Twitter, and I'm thinking to myself, we've already had this Chromecast for ages, and I'm looking at it, it looks the same as the one I've got plugged in my TV. I'm looking at the features and I'm like, yeah, it's just the Chromecast I've had for like over a year now. And then you start to look into it, and it's like, actually, they've diverged their range a little bit. So there's now 2 Chromecasts with Google TV available. Yeah. Still a terrible naming convention. One of them is HD, which is the entry-level one, and one of them is 4K, which is the one we've got for a while. Yeah, so they've basically made an inferior version to sell for cheaper.
What they've done is, they used to have the Chromecast and the Chromecast Ultra. Mm-hmm. Then they replaced both of them with the Chromecast with Google TV 4K one. Yeah. And now they brought out, which is effectively the Ultra, but just improved. Mm-hmm. And now they brought out the basic one. Yeah. In the same style. That's all they've done.
$29.99.
Yeah, and as I think I said to you, if I was in the market for a Chromecast now, considering I don't have a 4K TV, my TV is only 1080p. This is the one I go for.
Yeah, you can't.
Because I just save myself a couple of quid.
You can't really argue with it, to be fair, can you? For that price point.
But there again, I don't think I might. I'm going to take that back. I don't think I would. I'd go for the bigger one, because I'd also have half an eye on like buying a 4K TV, which I do at some point in the distant future. Yeah. So I think I would future-proof myself by going for the 4K one.
Well, that's what they want, don't they? They want to give you that option.
If you just, I don't know, say you have a second TV in your house that you have no intention of replacing, and it's just 1080p, there you go.
Go for it. We've got the same colours, sky, sunrise, and snow. And then you've got your 4K and your HD versions. It's $34.99 in the UK. And the best thing I love about the Google TV interface is just the interface. I love how it puts my Disney, my Netflix, Stadia, all into just one really fast and smooth UI, and it works and it's clever, and I love it so much more than just casting from my phone, which you had to do with the older Chromecasts. I actually prefer just cast. Even since I've had it, I've largely just casted. But that's a personal preference. Yeah, of course. With mine, so with the new LG TV, you can set it so the little Chromecast remote turns your TV on and also does the volume. So in my living room, I literally turn on the TV with the controller, boots that up, and then I'm straight into the UI. I pick my show, and it's just... I don't see why I should use my phone in that scenario.
I have like the Nest Hub in my living room, so I can just tell it to turn the TV on.
Wow. So, yeah,
you can probably do the same, actually.
You know what's annoying in the UK? And not really problematic for us. Channel 4 doesn't have an app on the Chromecast. We've got Channel 5, we've got ITV Hub, we've got BBC iPlayer. Channel 4, get your shit together.
ITV sometimes it doesn't work. The casting when it's the footy, which is annoying.
There's some kind of annoying thing with that. But yeah, get your shit together, Channel 4. Losers. Yeah. Of all the channels, I expected 5 to be letting us down. Not you, Channel 4. I had faith in you.
You make good stuff. Channel 5 doesn't. Yeah. I want to watch your stuff occasionally. I want to watch
the Great British Bake Off. Either way, it's nice to see them focusing on the Chromecast once again. We've got a bit of a kind of a refresh and a reshuffle. There is a Made by Google event incoming, I believe, later this month or next month. Might be October, actually, now I've said out loud.
I doubt it'll be a big focus. Well, just feels like line completion more than a big push for a new product.
And there's obviously the Pixel coming out, the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. But there is Google Stadia as well, front and center. Works well with Google Stadia. There is an actual part, I forgot where it's at, somewhere on the website where it actually does have Stadia. It says made for gaming somewhere on there. There it is. Play Stadia games without waiting. Ta-da! And there's a little GIF.
Which is nice because actually then the entry point to Stadia has actually got cheaper. Because before you used to have an Ultra. Mm-hmm. Google TV was cheaper than the Ultra. But now you've got this, which is even cheaper again.
Well, that's it, Richie. So then your option becomes... Well, it's not your only option, but...
It's 35 quid to get in.
Pay 35 quid,
plus controller.
Stick into your TV, you're good to go. Win-win.
And you can just use the controller that you got lying around. Just use bridge mode on your phone to connect it.
Bridge mode, exactly. But moving on then, away from hardware, back to some video game news. We heard the news this week, Splinter Cell. We know Splinter Cell's got a remake, a reboot. It's on the horizon. Rumours have circulated that... Well, not rumours, actually. It's based on fact. The Splinter Cell remake could be looking like it's more than just a remake, with some of the story being rewritten and updated for modern-day audiences. This comes off the back of a job description which reads, using the first Splinter Cell game as our foundation, we are rewriting and updating the story for a modern-day audience. We want to keep the spirit and themes of the original game while exploring our characters and the world to make them more authentic and believable. So, given that Splinter Cell 2 released back on the PS2 in 2002, there's no surprise Ubisoft want to maybe make some adjustments to the storytelling, bring it a bit more up to the 2022 or whenever it comes out range. Because again, the medium storytelling and stuff, it's evolved. TV cinemas evolved from the early 2000s a lot. Like movies that came out in 2002 compared to today, very different.
The geopolitical landscape is very different as well.
Yeah, sending espionage soldiers into war zones, the countries you want to pick, or who the villains are and the stuff. It all kind of just needs to be reworked a little bit, which, as someone who's never fully played a Splinter Cell game, I've like dabbled in one or two around a friend's house. This is one of those franchises that I think I could get really into. And I want to see this Splinter Cell remake as a jumping on point. Obviously, we're still a few years out, and more importantly, it probably won't come to Stadia at the rate they are with. If we're not getting Assassin's Creed Mirage, who knows by the time this game comes out what's actually going on. But we've always theorised with Ubisoft games that we will see them on Stadia. That door will be left open for now. But Rich, anything in particular that you would change about a Splinter Cell remake, reboot, and what's your history with it?
I played a bit of one of them when I was younger, which I really enjoyed, but I think the themes of the game just kind of were lost on me because I was like early teens. Yeah, so I was like... but I think the thing to mention is because they are rewriting parts of the story, if you are a diehard Splinter Cell fan, I could see that being upsetting. It's not for me because I don't have that connection to that story, so... They're playing with fire a bit. So we'll see what comes out of it, but I don't know. I want to trust them. Yeah. I want to think that they're making the decisions the right thing, and maybe this is just a case of we are making changes. We're going to tell you up front, so when the game drops, people go, well, that's different to how it was played last time.
Yeah. But
it depends how big the rewrites are, I think, and why the rewrites are.
Yeah. If it just tells a compelling story and it looks great and plays fun, then I'm down for it. It's better than not getting anything right.
I think same as you. I view this should be a good jumping in point if you haven't got any experience in the franchise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of expanding franchises, Krafton and the guys over at the PUBG development team, we know they've been teasing some things because they've got Callisto Protocol coming out this December 2nd, I believe it comes out on, and that's obviously totally worlds away from PUBG. Very early on development, they decided
I still always get a bit of a shock when it's like I hear you say that Callisto Protocol, the game that looks like that, is made by the same guys who made PUBG, which is a phenomenal game, but doesn't look great.
Yeah, completely. It's totally different. And they separate it from that. So originally it was going to be set in the PUBG universe. Now it's not set in there. They kind of diverge in their paths a little bit. I think they wanted to ride the PUBG wave and then realised that actually we don't need to do that. We can just reinvest the money we made from PUBG into brand new IP and quality titles. So they got that one. But then this week, the developer Krafton suddenly decided to release a concept trailer for a yet-to-be officially named title project, just at the moment called Unannounced Project, described as an ambitious fantasy adventure game based on the best-selling Korean novel The Bird That Drinks Tears, written by Lee Yeo-nundo. We don't have a lot of concrete facts regarding the title so far, but the trailer looks cool as shit. It's very kind of fantasy-inspired almost. Graphically, it looks gorgeous. You see this kind of guy behead someone and then rewind through almost like memories or histories. And it looks like he's beheaded some kind of Medusa character with her snake hair and stuff. And I don't really know what to make of it, but I like Callisto Protocol. It's a far cry from PUBG. It looks great. It's got my intrigue.
If you just put this trailer in front of me without telling me it was Krafton, I would never have guessed.
No, not at all.
And is there elements of this trailer do you look at and go, this looks like an engine? Yeah,
it looks. I mean, it's
something
made with Unreal 5.
Some of them look some
of
it looks CGI, but there's certain, I don't know what it is about. There's some points where like this looks literally in engine. It's like, and if that's true, this game could be amazing.
It's Unreal 5. Like we're probably on the cusp now. I'd say next year and beyond, we're going to see Unreal 5 really start to unfurl and showcase what that engine is capable of. Because we're probably a good 2 years nearly out from the Unreal Engine 5 demo we had. I think it was like way back in like episode 70 or something. We spoke about the Unreal demo. So 2 years on from that, we're going to start to see the fruits of those labours. And The Bird That Drinks Tears, never heard of it. Sounds like a cool as shit name. Sounds like the name Kojima would come up with, quite frankly. Korean fantasy. It's got a stock of characters and cliches of the normal Western fantasy, such as elves, magic, dragons, Latin languages, and instead of that tradition, it's been replaced with Korean concepts. So they basically swapped out what we would traditionally see as fantasy for Korean counterparts, essentially. And it looks cool.
I kind of like that because, like, Western fantasy stuff with elves and dwarves and orcs and stuff is as amazing as it is, kind of played out. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to do it to, like, a very engrossing level. Because a lot of it just I think sometimes like sci-fi as well. If you don't nail it, it just falls flat.
Yeah, it just feels generic.
The fact that this is like fantasy from a completely different culture that's like drawn on stuff that I've literally never even heard of is very fascinating.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And hopefully, with us having PUBG, of course, on Google Stadia with exclusive Stadia skins and content, Krafton or Google will dig into those pockets and make some kind of deal for it. Again, I'm hoping for Callisto Protocol later this year still, Richie. They could still surprise us with a stealth drop on that one. Doubtful.
What I don't get is, why have they just dumped this on their YouTube?
Just randomly, like, here's a trailer, not a showcase or anything.
All right, we've got Game Awards. This is clearly not coming out this year. It's not coming out probably even next year. We've got Game Awards around the corner. This would be... Imagine the hype of this trailer at Game Awards.
Yeah. And then showing you... Yeah, just everything about it. Crazy.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Final ones for the week, just to round out. From Space, we mentioned it on last week's show, maybe the week before, was listed as one of your pro games for... actually, it was going to come out at launch. It's going to be a September pro game. and no doubt a pro game for October. The game got delayed. We covered it on last week's show. Got delayed. The team Triangle Studios have came out and clarified that it's got a new launch date. They said it wasn't going to be long. It's been pushed back to November the 3rd. So you can get that as part of a November pro game. I did reach out to them on Twitter and just congratulate them on the new date, but also ask them, will it now be a Stadia Pro game for November? And they clarified on Twitter that yes, it's still coming to Stadia Pro at launch. So there we go, boys and girls. We've got another pro game confirmed for Stadia, and another mention of boys and girls for some reason. I need to get that out of my head. I don't know why I've suddenly...
Do you think it's because I took the piss?
It's because you mentioned it. Now my brain is defaulting to it. So yes, I don't know why, but either way, confirmed for Stadia Pro. It's nice to know that happened. Again, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, or to read the emails, an email fly, just to see how that works. Like when they say the game's going to be delayed, and then Stadia go, "Oh shit, it was a pro game for this month." And then they go, well, it can still be pro, but when it launches in November, and Stadia go, yeah, I guess we'll have to accept that. There's nothing more we can do. Stadia haven't even acknowledged it going to pro, obviously, because we didn't get a blog post. Do you think it was going to be on this month's pro game list alongside these ones, Richie? Or do we think one of these indie games has snuck in? Like, was Tangle Tower going to be a pro game for October, or has it replaced From Space?
I don't know. It's possible one of these games were bumped up by a month or two.
Yeah, like in the off the bench, like reserves list.
Yeah,
like,
maybe like
come on your feet, Drawful 2. We need you on the pitch. Get out there.
Yeah,
kick ass.
Adam's Family's been on the platform for a little while, hasn't it? So maybe that was like penciled in to be a pro game at some point, and they've pushed it forward.
Maybe.
I don't think it matters.
No, I mean, it's good to know that we're going to get it pro, because that would have been the sucky scenario for Stadia. Would have been like, oh, it's no longer pro for this month, but also when it does launch in November, it's not pro for some reason. That definitely strikes me as something that could have happened. So it's nice to know we got clarity, and fingers crossed it does actually launch straight into pro. Last story of the week. I just wanted to spend a little bit more time, Richie, talking about Cyberpunk. Of course, we know Cyberpunk performs fantastically on Stadia. We've been saying this for quite some time. It always has done. It always will. And it's seen a resurgence, and I've seen nothing but positive praise for this neon-filled world. As its resurgence continues, it's now got over 1 million people playing it concurrently over on Steam with its numbers, which is impressive, considering the game obviously got kind of ripped apart initially. This, to no surprise, probably comes off the same week that they launched their anime on Netflix, Edgerunners, alongside multiple updates for the game, aptly titled the Edgerunners Update, and a couple of new features, and the announcements of a new story trailer. And it very much seems, looking out there on the internet, that Cyberpunk's back. And you know what, Richie? I've watched the first 3 episodes of Edgerunners. That shit is cool. Like, if you get a moment, check it out. It was one of those shows where it's so fast and frantic. I got 3 episodes. Honestly, those 3 episodes, they're about 20 odd minutes long. That hour felt like 15 minutes. That's how fast it went. And it's so fast, and just the story's cool. And immediately I got that itch to think, like, shit, do I go back to Cyberpunk now? Is this like, is it done it? Is it got, in all the news stories are saying there's 1 million people playing it now, and I know it's been patched and it's better than ever. You finished Cyberpunk. You said you probably usually don't go back to story DLC. Does this hype get you, kind of give you that itch at all, or are you just happy to see it doing well?
I must admit, I did feel the inclination to maybe should jump in, and it's like I overruled that kind of thought, because now I've got other stuff I'm playing right now. If I jump into Cyberpunk, things are going to get... I'm going to fall out of other games. I won't get them done. I can go back to Cyberpunk at any point.
True.
But Dylan Hull from our Discord literally, and I quote here, it's kind of a shame you haven't experienced it in its current state. Because we're talking in our Discord, and I was like, I really enjoyed the game when I played it over my Christmas break.
Yeah, you did it like kind of one 2020, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I played solid for about 3 weeks, especially over my Christmas break, where I think I had 10 days, and most of my time I spent playing Cyberpunk. So I just was full in. But then once I rolled credits, I was kind of, okay, I'm done, moved on. But bear in mind, I had things like Valhalla, Immortals Phoenix Rising, some other stuff as well. But I am tempted. What's tempting me more is actually the anime, because I keep hearing some great stuff about it. But it's like, it's on Netflix. I don't have a Netflix subscription, and I don't like getting subscriptions for one thing.
Well, watch Stranger Things while you're there. Stranger Things is fantastic.
But I don't know. There's only so much time in it.
You've got plenty of time. But either way, yeah, the Edge Runners, like...
I will watch Edge Runners at some point.
Like, yeah, the 3 episodes in, like, I was really tired last night, and it just, like, bang, bang, bang. And you know when a show reaches the end, it says, like, the credits hit, and you're like, oh, shit, that's the end. Like, that flew over the first 2 episodes, just like a breeze, because I was so engaged in the story. And the graphics, I forgot what the team was who do Edge Runners, but they're, like, famed for fantastic anime.
It's Trigger, isn't it?
Yes, it's Trigger. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I was like, this is just gorgeous. And immediately you can tell the cyberpunk world is just kind of rich for the picking for telling stories. Like, they use their own, like, language and slang and using, like, the word tune and stuff. It's like, I can remember playing the game now. Like, I'm hearing all these, like, this verbiage that puts me right back in Night City. And the kind of the seedy undertones, very kind of Blade Runner-esque as well. And, it's like, I didn't finish Cyberpunk, so I've kind of been waiting for that moment, so... Maybe that's one of my in-between games I jump back into. But nice to see it doing a resurgence. It's having that kind of same magic that The Witcher happened. The Witcher show drops to Netflix. The game's seen a massive 300% boon in sales. Looks like Cyberpunk's onto a winning formula with this as well.
I wonder with this, is it because Cyberpunk people being... It's never really strayed too far from the news cycle. And it's always been getting improved. Because I think everyone wants Cyberpunk to be a great game.
Yeah.
And now it's probably finally achieving on its promise in terms of the game. And then there's animators drop. People went, it's time.
It's time. It's time to jump into Night City. And I think people still have a lot of love.
Maybe they should have brought it out now.
Maybe. Imagine if it landed with the anime and the game was in perfect fine form. But either way, you look to see it. You love to see it. That has been it, boys and girls, for another episode of the Sounds of Stadia podcast, episode number 157. There's your pro games, there's your Atari games, and all the other news broken down right here for your weekly Stadia podcast, the longest running Stadia podcast in the world, episode 157. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're kept in the loop with all of the amazing content we do here at Helix Cloud Games. But more importantly, check us out this Saturday as we celebrate our 3rd year anniversary of the channel. Celebrate with beers, pizza, which again, you have to supply your own beers and pizza. If you are tuning in, we are not supplying that. But we are doing some giveaways. We do have a Google Nest Mini in the offering for those of you out there. Probably in the UK, we should probably stress that as well. It's costly to ship one of those things to the United. You're better off just buying it yourself if you want to wait for it to come in the post. But we do have some Helix Cloud Games stickers. And one lucky winner is going to get their hands on an exclusive piece of Helix Cloud Games merch in the form of some apparel. So tune in, win some prizes, play along, play some games with us, more importantly, and celebrate on our 3rd year anniversary. As I said at the top of the show, we've got a couple of things in the schedule already. We're going to be doing the Talking the PS show, our PlayStation podcast live for the first time ever with me, Richie, and Rob. We've got Atari Showdown, where Richie's finally going to play those recharged Atari games in a showdown to show down all showdowns. We've then got some first looks coming up as well. We're going to be doing the Sounds of Stadia podcast, this episode 158 live. We've then got another first look, Killer Queen Black with you, the community, some FIFA 23, brand new FIFA 23 with you, the community. We've got a lovely Stadia Scope mini game to play with you all out there as well, alongside Hitman. As part of our Caring for the Cloud segment, we're going to be asking you to donate to some charities, and then an episode of CloudQuest before we finally go into Helix Cloud Games celebrations after dark, where you're not boys and girls, you are men and women of the cloud enjoying yourself. Anything to add, Richie, just as we round out this week's show?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to the celebration stream.
Me too. It's been a, I was going to say short time coming, but it seems like we've came around to this anniversary really quick. But at the same time, saying 3 years out loud as well, hitting that milestone of 3 whole years is crazy. And sometimes when we look back at the channel, it's like, oh yeah, this podcast is up to 158 episodes. CloudQuest is up to 86, 87. That's coming up on 100. Talking the PS is already at 15 episodes, which is insane. And God knows how many live streams we've done. There must be 3 years worth of live streams out there, shows and first looks and stuff to check out. But we couldn't do it without your amazing support. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Anyone who's listening on podcast services, don't forget to give us a little rating out there. If you're on Spotify, give us those 5 stars. If you feel like we're worthy of the 5 stars, that is, of course. Leave a comment below, any kind of comment. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Share, like, retweet all of our stuff. Just help other Stadia players and cloud gamers. I know hundreds of you watch out this there. If we can just get one person extra for every one of you people out there watches, that doubles our numbers, just like that. Magic, and then we can spend more time bringing you better quality content. Because we do want to, but at the same time, we're only 2 people. Well, we're a wider team, but we're only 2 people predominantly who pour our hearts and souls into this content, Richie, and it's fun, and I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all. So thank you very much. I don't know why I'm dragging this outro out so long. It's almost like we're recording this late on a Friday, and I've got nowhere to go other than bed. So we could probably talk for a lot longer, but we'll keep it succinct just for your listening out there. Have a great week, folks.
I've got the Rings of Power to watch after this, so wrap it up.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched Rings of Power actually as well. Yeah, do it. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been Chris.
I've been Richie.
We've been Helix Cloud Games, bringing you sounds of Stadia. And remember, folks, play whatever makes you the happiest, specifically on Saturday, the 1st of October, with us celebrating the Helix Cloud celebrations. Goodbye, boys and girls.
Bye.
Boys and girls.